Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to discuss simplex method. The simplex method always starts with initial basic feasible solution, that is origin, which is one of the corner point of the feasible region, and this solution is then tested, that is it is ascertained whether improvement in the value of the objective function is possible by moving to the next corner point of the feasible region. So the solution at this point is obtained. So today we will solve one problem. So it is a procedure, it is a method to find optimal solution to an linear programming problem. If it exists, occurs only at one of the corner point of the feasible region. So simplex method is based on fundamental property that the optimal solution. Now we'll discuss one problem. So before starting our simplex method problem, we must know some constraints. So all constraints are of the form less than or equal to. So you have to convert all the constraints in this format, and all right hand side values are positive. Then only we can solve the problem with the help of simplex method, and we will learn how to address other forms in next session. Today we will solve this previously formulated problem. So this problem we formulated in last lecture. So just read carefully. The given problem is: a firm manufactures two products A and B, on which the profit earned per unit are rupees 3 and rupees 4. Means profit for A is rupees 3 and profit for B is rupees 4. Each product is processed on two machines. Means A is processed on machine 1 M1 and machine 2. B is also processed on machine 1 M1 and machine 2 M2. A product A requires 1 minute processing time on M1 and 2 minutes on M2, and B requires 1 minute on M1 and 1 minute on M2. Machine M1 is available for not more than 7 hours 30 minutes, while machine M2 is available for 10 hours during any working day. Find the number of units of products A and B to be manufactured to get maximum profit. See, this is a simple problem. You read carefully this problem, try to understand the situation, and try to find out the variable. See, there are two products. Two products are processed on two different machines. Two products are giving or earning different profits. So what is question? Find the number of units of product A and product B to be manufactured. So number of product you require to find out. And so that what is aim, what is objective? Maximum profit. So Z maximum, Z equal to, so each A product gives 3 rupees profit, each B product gives 4 rupees profit. So number of product A you assume as x1, number of product B you assume as x2, and you can write a objective function. So in next step you can start your solution. You first formulate the problem. Linear programming model for the problem is maximize Z, maximization of profit, Z equal to 3 is nothing but 3 rupees profit per A product, and number of A products are x1, plus 4 rupees profit for B product, and number of B products are x2. So this will be the objective function. And what are constraints given? So A product require 1 minute processing time on M1 machine and 2 minutes on M2 machine, where B requires 1 minute on M1 and 1 minute on M2. M1 is available not more than 7 hours 30 minutes. 7 hours 30 minutes means 450 minutes. M1 is available less than or equal to 450 minutes. So x1 is number of A product, so it requires 1 minute. So 1 minute into x1 is x1. x2 is a number of B products. B product require 1 minute, means number of minutes required for x2, number of products is x2. So x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 450. This will be the first constraint for M1 machine. Whereas on M2 machine, A required 2 minutes per product. Number of A products are x1. So x1 into 2. 1 minute required for B product. Number of B products are x2. So 1 into x2. So if you consider M2 machine, then constraint become 2x1 plus x2 less than or equal to 600. Okay, and where it is considered that x1 x2 means number of products should be 0 or greater than 0. It should not be minus. So number quantity cannot be minus. So it should be plus to get a feasible solution. Now, so this is a formulation. All of you know. Already we discussed in previous lectures how to formulate, how to get a formulation, how to get simplification of the problem. Now, the given problem is said to be expressed in standard form. If the given variables are non-negative, see the variables are non-negative, right hand side of the constraints are non-negative, and the constraints are expressed as equation. Here in above equation, since first two conditions are met within the problem, what are two conditions? So given problem is said to be expressed in standard form if the given variables are non-negative. So variables are non-negative are there. Okay, x1 and x2 are greater than or equal to 0. It is non-negative. Also the right hand side of the constraints are non-negative. So here it is equal to or greater than 450, means it is also non-negative. Means here first two conditions are met. Since the first two conditions are met within the problem, non-negative slack variables S1 and S2 are added to the left hand side of the first and second constraints. See, x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 450. If we add something there, then it will be, so S1 variable such that it will be equal to 450. And S1 is varying from 0 to 450. Where S2, you add 2x1 plus x2 plus s2, so that it will be equal to 600. So add s1 and s2 as a slack variables, So you can see this next equation. See, z equal to 3x1 plus 4x2 plus 0s1 plus 0s2. So 0 means here if you write 0 value, then there is no change in main solution. So 0s2. So s1 and s2 are slack variables. But if s1 and s2 are having some values, then definitely x1 plus x2 plus s1, instead of less than or equal to, you will get equal to 450. So 2x1 plus x2 plus s2, instead of less than, you will get equal to 600. Okay. The slack variables represent unutilized capacity or resources. So these slack variables, these are slack variables, these are slack variables. The slack variables represents unutilized capacity, unutilized capacity. In current problem, S1 denotes the time for which machine M1 remains unutilized or idle. Similarly, S2 denotes the idle time for machine M2. Since slack variables represent ideal resources, they contribute 0 to the objective function. So accordingly they are associated with 0 coefficient in objective function. So it is having no effect. So we will get this equation, we will get this formation. So note down this properly. So it will give same effect. Here S1 and S2 are slack variables. So this is what expression of the problem in standard form. The standard form is possible only when variables are non-negative. Also, right hand side of constraints are non-negative. So these two conditions are satisfied. So we followed the step and we got a standard form of the expression. Now try to find out initial basic feasible solution. Try to find out initial basic feasible solution. In simplex method, a start is made with a feasible solution which we shall get by assuming that the profit earned is 0. You assume that initially profit earned is 0, z equal to 0. You assume z equal to 0. Here if you assume z equal to 0, then x1 and x2 values should be 0. Then only you will get z equal to 0. So substituting x1 equal to x2 equal to 0 in this equation, then when z equal to 0, x1, x2 equal to 0, when you substitute all these values here subject to x1 plus x2 plus s1 equal to 450, if you substitute x1 equal to 0 and x2 equal to 0, you will get s1 equal to, so as we considered that, so total profit is 0, so x1 and x2 equal to 0. After substituting x1 and x2 0, you will get s1 equal to 450 and s2 equal to 600. So which is called initial basic feasible solution. This is called initial basic feasible solution. Note that z equal to 0 for this solution and variables s1, s2 are called basic variables and they form the basis. They form the basis. In physical terms, it means neither of the two products are produced. Means x1 is not produced, x2 is not, a is not produced, b is also not produced. The entire time available for machine M1 and M2 is unused. Since nothing is being done, the profit earned is 0. So this is what initial basic feasible solution. So how to write this in particular format? So you have to write this particular table. Note down this table properly. The problem in standard form and the solution obtained above are now expressed in the form of table and it is called as simplex table. This table is called as simplex table. So what are elements of this table? So first row indicates the coefficient of Cj of variables in objective function. So already you know the objective function is, see, this is an objective function maximize z. So 3x1, 4x1, 0s1, 0s2. So 3, 4, 0 and 4, 0. 3, 4, 0, 0. These are variables. So first row indicate the coefficients Cj of variables in the objective function equation. These coefficients remain unchanged in the subsequent tables. In all tables it remains same as it is a variable given in a problem itself, in a formulation itself. So the second row indicates the variables in problem for which the Cj coefficient have already been written. Now first column, we'll see first column, CB column. What is CB column? The first column represents the coefficient of current basic variables in objective function. Current basic variables. Current basic variables are what? x1 equal to 0 and x2 equal to 0. Current basic variables. So current basically in this equation we assume that x1 equal to 0, x2 equal to 0. That's why 0, 0 values are written there. The second column is basic variables. The second column is the basis column. It represents the basic variables of the current solution. So what are basic variables of current solution? So S1 and S2. So S1, S2 you write there. So basic variables of current solution. So the basic variables are slack variables S1 and S2. Now next is body matrix. So this particular, this is a body matrix. This is a body matrix. So you have to write body matrix here. So what it consists of? So the body matrix, also called as coefficient matrix. This is also called as coefficient matrix. Under non-basic variables x1 and x2 represents their coefficients in the constraints. So you have to write variables x1 and x2 represents their coefficient in constraints. These coefficients represent the amount of resource required to make a unit of product. For example, coefficient under 1 under x1 column and 1 under x2 column is a S1 row represent that time required on machine M1. See, in previous equation, you know, see x1, you know this x1. So 1 x1, 1 x2 and 1 s1 equal to 450. Similarly, 2 x1 plus 1 x2 plus 1 s2 equal to 600. So in this way you have to write here. So 1 here, 1 x1 plus 1 x2 plus 1 s1 equal to 450. Similarly, 2 x1 plus 1 x2 plus 1 s2 equal to 600. The same standard equation form, the variables you have to write here. Okay, in this way you have to write this. So you have to form this body matrix with the help of x1, x2 and identity matrix considering slack variables. So body matrix consists non-basic variables, that is x1, x2, and identity matrix consists slack variables. Identity matrix represents coefficient of slack variables in the constraints. Note that every simplex table we have identity matrix under the basic variables. The identity matrix is also called as unit matrix. Here for first constraint S1 is assumed, so that's why it is 1 and S2 is 0. In second row, in next row, for next constraint S1 is 0 and S2 is there. If number of constraints are more, you will get more S1, S2, S3 up to Sn you can take. And each time only one slack variable is positive or it is a 1 and remaining all are 0. So this is first initial basic feasible solution. It is having several components and last component is a B component. B component is the last column in table. This is also called as quantity column or solution values column. This column indicates the quantities of the available resources or right hand side values of constraints or values of basic variables S1 and S2 in the initial basic feasible solution. Okay, so here this is a table which shows you, so this is a simplex table which gives you initial basic feasible solution. Is it clear? If you have any doubt, you can ask. We'll clarify your doubts and then move to next part of our session.